Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to solve Advent of Code day 9 problem, which is row bridge. But before solving this problem, if you have not subscribed to my channel, then please do. It really helps me keep motivated to make new videos. Now let's move to the problem. So in this problem you will be given a head and tail, and you have to follow head and tail based on some criteria. So there are two rules to move head and tail. So first rule is, let me just write it down. So first rule is, if head is at least two steps away from tail, then move tail in that direction. Okay, in that direction. So this is the rule number 1. And the second rule, it is saying, if head and tail is not in the same row or same column, if not in same row and column, then move tail in that direction. So remember, for this rule number 2, rule number 1 will be same, means it should be at least two steps away from the head. Okay, so tails should be at least two steps away from the head. And for rule number 2, it is saying that if it is not in the same row and same column, then we have to move it in that direction. So let me just walk you through one example here. So if I see this as an example, so here it is saying the initial position. So before solving this, initial position of head comma tail will be 0, 0, means head and tail will be at the same position. Remember that. Okay, now here it is saying R4, means move head 4 position in the right direction. Okay, so these all are instruction for direction, means R4 means move head right in the right direction with 4 unit. U4 means move head in up direction by 4 unit. L means move L in 4 by 4 unit. D means move down by 1 unit. So these all are instruction for direction, and tail will follow the head direction based on these two rules. Okay, now moving to the problem. So here it is saying R4 means move head in head by 4 unit in right direction. Okay, so here if you see, head and tail are at the same position, and here head is covering tail, and S denotes the starting position. It is just marking marking a starting position of head and tail. Okay, now it is moving head by 4 units. So what will the first position? Right, means head will move by 1. Then so the difference between head and tail position is not greater than greater than 1. So that's why tail will be at the same position, and not tail is covering the S. So it is saying here, not tail is covering S, right? Tail is covering S. Now if you see head move by one position. Okay, so initially let me just write it down in the form of coordinates. So initially it was 0, 0 for head comma tail. For both it was 0, 0. After this one, head becomes 0, not 0, 1, 0. Okay, tail is still 0, 0, because the difference between the total number of step is still not more than 1. Okay, so tail position is 0, 0. If you see here, now head position is 2, 0, because head moves 2 a step away, and tail position, previous tail position was 0, 0. So if you calculate the difference, so here if you see the row difference, not row, column difference is what? 2 unit, means x position difference is 2 unit, which is greater than 1, means it is 2 a step away. Head was 2 a step away. So what it will follow? It will follow this rule. It will follow this rule, and it will move 1 a step closer to the head. So now what will be the position of the tail? So tail updated position will be, it will move 1 a step in the direction of head. So what will be the new position? So new position will be t of new position will be t of what was the head position? It was 2 and comma 0, and tail position was 0, 0. So new position of head will be, initial position was 0 plus what was the what is the current head x position, which is 2. Now I will mark it is absolute value, means divide it by the absolute value of the total difference, so that it will get the 1 unit. Okay, so depending on the, so let me just write in this way: 2 minus 0 divided by absolute value of 2 minus 0. So why I am writing this in this format? So I am writing in this format because I just want to follow the direction. So suppose if this value is negative, then it will follow the negative direction. If value is positive, then it will follow the positive direction. Okay, same for the y position. So y position, previous value for the t was 0. Now the current value is 0 minus 0 divided by absolute value. So here we will add, if absolute value is 0, then we will not apply this formula. Okay, so the new position will be, for new position will of tail will be 1, 0. Okay, so we will apply this formula all over the to follow the every direction. This will apply for diagonal move also, diagonal move plus row column move. This formula will apply everywhere. So first we will calculate the difference and divide it by the absolute value of that difference. Okay, so what is this formula? Difference divided by absolute value of difference. So this formula we will apply to find out the tail position direction. Okay, I'm just clearing this whole screen so that you will get the idea. So just remember what was the tail position now. So tail position is 1, 0, and head position is 2, 0. So just remember this. I'm clearing my screen. Okay, so now here, so you see here, right? So here head position was 2, 0. Tail position was 1, 0. Okay, now if head moves 1 step now again away, then now head position will be 3, 0, and tail position will be 1, 0. Current tail position, current position. Find out the difference between them. So again difference will be 2, 0, right, which is greater than 1, means it is 2 a step away, means more than 1 a step away from the head. Tail is currently more than 1 a step away from the head. So again we will apply that formula. What was that formula? Find out the difference find out the difference between coordinate means x comma y and divide it by the absolute value of difference. So again, if we apply this formula, then again updated tail position will be 2 comma 0. You can check updated position of the tail will be 2 comma 0. Okay. Now again move to the next. Here it will be head will be now pointing to 4 comma 0 and again tail will be pointing to 3 comma 0. Okay. Now here what is the instruction? Move in the up direction. Move in the up direction. So up direction. So now what it will do? It will move h in the up direction and tail will follow that. Rule will be same. If difference between the row and column is more than 1, then we will follow that. Same the second rule was if head and tail are not in the same row or column, then tail will move diagonally. So rule will be same. So here if you see, now updated head position is what? Updated head position is what was that? Like 4 comma 1. Tail position is again 3 comma 0. Find out the difference. What is the difference? Difference of x is 1 and y is again 1. It is not more than 1, right? So tail will not move anywhere. If you see here, so for the first move, tail is still at the same position. It has not moved anywhere. Updated head position is 4 comma 1 and tail updated position will remain same, which is 3 comma 0. So if you notice previous step also it was 3 comma 0 here, right? Where we have written here. For previous position it was 3 comma 0. Again it is 3 comma 0. It has not moved anywhere, right? Now if we see, if head position is updated here head position is now updated. So now updated head position is what? 4 comma 2 and tail previous position was 3 comma 0. Find out the difference. What is the difference? 1 comma, it will be 2. So x comma y. What is the difference? 1 comma 2. Find out the absolute value. Absolute value will also be 1 comma 2. Okay. Now find out the tail current position. Tail current position will be what? Current x position. So it is 3 plus the difference, which is x divided by absolute of that difference, x. So current tail x position will be 4. Current tail TCY, which is what was the y position? Y position was 0 plus what is the difference? So difference is 2. And what is the absolute of that difference? 2. So what will be the value? So what will be the value? So value will be, so just make it so 0 plus 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So updated position for y will be 1. So what is the current position? 4 comma 1. So if you see here, it is 4 comma 1. What is the head position? It is 4 comma 2. So by using this formula, so I'm sure you have understood how this is working, right? So with the help of this whole formula of moving head and following the tail, we will solve part 1 problem. Okay. So in this problem you are asking to find out the total number. So let me just read out for you. Okay. So it is asking how many positions does the tail of the road visit at least one. So it is asking means how many positions does tail row visit. So we have to calculate total number of position where tail visits at least once. Okay. So to do that, we will just store the tail position in the set. Okay. So now let me just walk you through the code. So first clear my screen. Let me just walk you through the code. So here if you see, here we have defined the direction as I have told you. So this is the direction. Okay. So this is for right, this is for left. So for the right, it will add 1 to x. It will subtract 1 from x. It will add 1 to x, not x, y, and it will add subtract 1 from y. So this is how we have defined. So this is instruction as input provided. Input was in the format right 4, if you remember, right? So for right, it is just taking this as this tuple as a tuple which is containing x and y position, means it will add 1 in x and 0 in y. Okay. Now what we are doing? We are just storing every input in the moves array here. So this is as same as the all previous codes. Now we have created two functions. So let me just first walk you through this problem function, which is solve. So here I am just passing total number of nodes. So if you have seen for the first problem, part 1 problem, it is only taking 2 nodes. Okay. So 2 nodes may one is head and another one is head, another one is tail. We will see for the part 2, but currently for this problem it is only 2 nodes. Okay. So that's why we have defined nodes. Now we are just taking all the nodes present into one array. So initially all nodes will be pointing to the same position, as I have also told you that. So initial position for head comma tail was 0 comma 0, and that we are defining here. So initial position for all the nodes will be 0 comma 0, means initially all nodes will be at the same position. Okay. So I hope you got this. Now I'm just adding current tail into the visited, means current tail, if we move or not move, we have visited at least once. Okay. So that's why we have just added current tail into the visited set. Okay. Now if you go here, so we are just iterating through all the moves present in the input array. Now here what I am doing, I am just fetching the direction tuple. I am just fetching the direction tuple based on the instruction given in the input. So this is just, and in the second part I am just iterating over all the moves which was given in the input for that direction. Okay. So if you see the input, it is saying R2. If it is saying R2, means I am iterating 2 times on that direction. Okay. So I am iterating number of times which is given in the input. Okay. Initial position for head is 0. So if you see, initially all the nodes are pointing to same, but I'm taking 0 as the head position. Rest will be the tail position. So rest means for part 1 it is only 2. So the 1 position will be tail position. Okay. And we will updating the tail based on the head position. So here if you see, we are updating the head position. Head position updation rule is nothing but just adding the current values, means current direction values. So if it is up, then we will update y. If it is up, and down, we will update y, and if it is left and right, we will update x. So that's what we are doing here. We are just updating the value of head, updating value of head. Now what we are doing here, we are updating value of tail based on the updated value of head. As I've told you one formula, like find out the difference of x and difference of y, and then absolute value of difference of x divided by absolute value of difference of y. So now based on this formula, we will update value of tail. So if you see here, we are just updating value of tail. So what is the value of tail? What from where value of tail will start? So here I'm just looping through from 1 to total number of knots percent. If you see, we have taken 0 as a head, then from starting position 1 toward the end of the knot array, rope array, all will be tail. For here there will be only one head and rest will be tail. So that's why we are iterating over that array. Okay, and here we are updating value of individual value of tails. So if you to update individual value of tail, we have just created one function which is follow, and follow will use this formula. So if you see here, just I have calculated the difference. This is the difference. This is nothing but difference, right? This is difference, means it is subtracting x of both head and tail, subtracting x. So suppose for example here head position is x1 comma y1 and tail position is x2 comma y2. Then what it is doing, it is x equal to x1 minus x2 and y equal to y1 minus y2. This is doing here, if you see. And again finding the absolute value. Why we are finding absolute value? To decide the direction, we will divide it by absolute value. We will divide difference by absolute value to get the direction, because it was saying we have to move in that direction. So that's why we have to divide it by the absolute value. And one more reason is we will only move one position. So here if you say, we will move at most one position in that direction. So if absolute difference is negative, then we will either it will move left or up if difference is negative. If it is positive, if it is left or down. Okay, so either it will move left or down if difference is negative. If difference is positive, then in that case, difference is positive, in that case it will either move right or up. So that's what we are doing here. So if you see, we are just updating value of tail. So tail current, so we are just adding tail current value, current x value, and whatever we have got from the by applying this formula, we are updating tail y value, whatever we got by applying this formula, and returning it. And again here we are just updating current tail value with the returned value from this function, and that's it. And at the end of this loop, I'm just adding whatever value of the last updated tail position is in the visited set, and at the end I'm just returning the total number of visited set, so length of that visited set. And if you see, for part 1, as I have said, the total number of knots was only 2, so just returning that. So let me just show you the output. Let me just show you the output. So let's just move to the day 9. 3 main.py. So for part 1 it is 5695. If I go to the question problem here, if you see it is 5695 for part 1. Part 2 is completely similar. It is instead of so for part 1 we were using only one node. So let me just clear my screen first. For part 1 what we were doing, we were only using 2 nodes, but here it is saying we have to use 10 nodes. What is it saying? It is saying we have to use 10 nodes. So if you see, so for 10 nodes, one will be head and rest will be tail. Okay, so one will be head and rest will be tail. So the and we will use same thing for same rule for every tail. Means head will first move, then tail will calculate. Head will move, then tail position will be calculated based on the previous value of the updated head. Okay, and rest will be follow the same thing for the other tails value. Okay, so this is exactly same as the part 1, but here there is one catch. It is adding 10, it is saying we have to use 10 nodes. Okay, so suppose if it is value is for head is updated, then it will calculate difference from the head. For T2 it will calculate difference from the T1. For T3 it will calculate difference from the T2, and it will move based on that difference. So what it is doing, it is calculating difference from the previous value and moving based on the value updated in the previous node. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. So if we see, if you go to the code here, what is it? So here we will just pass total number of node. It will update value of all the tail position based on the previous value of the updated tail position. So if you see here, it is just taking the previous value and current value and updating based on that. Okay, so as I have told you, current tail position will update the value of a value based on the previous tail position. If it is head and tail number 1, then it will update based on the head moves position. Okay, so that's it. So if you compare the output, so for the part 2 we are getting 2434. So if you compare the output, it is 2434. So this is it. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me keep motivated to make new videos. For me this program was tough to think, but once you get the idea, then it was easier to implement. So if you have implemented part 1, then part 2 was quite easy. Okay,